everyone, this is Sandra at Spirit of Avalon. So today I'm going to be doing a VR to Simon over at the Hermit's Cave for his hashtag elder decks. So decks we own that are older or kind of vintage decks. So I've got, what have I got here? I've got 7 decks. One of them does just about go into the 2000s, but I thought I'd include it anyway. Most of Simon's were around the 50-year-old mark, but as I've only got 2 that come under that category, or roughly, I thought I'd put in a few others. So let's have a look at our elder decks. So the oldest deck I've got is the Aquarian Tarot, and this, as you can see, is from 1970. You can see that there if it focuses or not. Yeah, anyway, it's 1970, this deck, so it's like the original, like printing. The box is really battered, guys. Look at the state of it. I've lost one of these bits, but it's a cool deck, and I got it, I think I got it on eBay. It comes with like the little instruction booklet, which is all kind of yellowed and everything. Now it's more like a kind of pull out type thing, but yeah. And this deck is cool, and you can see like where it's been used. It's not actually coming across that well on camera, but it has been used, and it has these backs, and it has that nice kind of feel. There is a slight sheen to the cards, but it still has that nice feel of an old deck, and some of them have got like almost like the colour has started to come off a little bit and stuff, but I love that. And what's weird with this one is that it's there's 2 Queen of Cups in this deck. Really weird. So probably there was a deck somewhere missing the Queen of Cups. But I do like this deck, and I like the faces of the people on this one as well. It is very 1970s, and kind of more of a muted colour palette to it. So it is quite a cool deck, and works really well, and it's just like, you know, a basic kind of RWS really, which I like, so it works fine for me. I do like it. So yeah, so that is the Aquarian Tarot, which is the 1970 copy of this deck. There are, obviously you can still buy this deck, and there's other ones that have been printed at different times, but this is the oldest of my decks. Second oldest, because this is 1971, so this is my Blue Box Blushing Fall deck with these backs, and this again, I was lucky, really lucky, to find this on eBay in really good condition, and I paid, I think it was £75 for it, which was really good, because normally they are over the £100 mark. But the feel of these cards, nothing feels like these cards. Nothing. They're so smooth, and it's just lovely. Just, I could sit there just like feeling them all the time. They're just so nice. So yeah, I do really like this. And again, it's a used deck, so there's there's always that to it. I mean, look at the inside of the box. But I really wanted a blushing. Well, I wanted a 1970s blue box. I wasn't overly bothered whether it was a blushing fall or not, but it just so happens that this one is. I love the yellow colour that is used in this. So, yeah, and I just really wanted one, and I never thought I would get one. I never thought. I just thought they're going to be out of my price range. There's no way that I can pay like over £100 for this deck. But yeah, and the guy that sold it to me, actually, he actually asked me, I mean, after I'd paid and everything, so he was fine about it, but he said, what is the thing with this deck? He said, because I just bought it from a pile of these decks that was in the shop in 1971. And I just said, well, you know, they're classed as vintage now, and lots of people do want them. So, and he was like, okay, but he was totally fine with how much money he'd got for it. He was happy with what he'd got, so that was good on both points, because I was happy with it, he was, and that was it. And again, I have used it. I do really like the line work and everything in this. It's so sharp compared to the more modern versions. So I do sometimes use this as well as my Dirty Pam. So yeah, that one's from 1971. This deck is from 1990 and again is RWS. It just says tarot cards on it. It was £9.95 to buy originally. It's got like a little booklet with it. I don't know if it says in here. Don't think it does. I think it's kind of a guess, or I was told it was probably 1990, so I'm just kind of going with it's 1990. But and this one again is very similar to the one that I just showed, the like 1971 Blushing Fall, because the cardstock feels really similar, but maybe it's slightly different, but it does feel really similar. Really, I should take this with me when I see Simon at the weekend and see what he thinks, whether he thinks it's similar, the same, or whatever. He has more knowledge of RWS than I do, but I still love this. And this, I think, cost me £30. And again, I've seen these going for much more now, even these ones. And it's got this kind of purple coloured box, so it's very cool, and it's got that kind of vintagey smell to it as well, like the 1971 deck has. But we won't spend long on this because it's very similar. But yeah, I might take it with me at the weekend and see what Simon thinks about it. But yeah, so that is that one from 1990, I think. Then I have, and this is from 94, and this is the Celtic Tarot, which is in this type of box. This is the book, which actually, I'm sure it says in it, oh no, this is 1990. Sorry, this is 1990. So the same age as the deck, the RWS that I've just shown you. And this came, and you can see how battered the box is. And I keep meaning, because these cards are going to get damaged, to put these into a bag. You can see the box is really damaged. But because of that, again, I got it for £35, I think it was, on eBay, and the cards were still sealed. They were still in their shrink wrap. So although the case is battered and the book shows signs of wear a little bit, but not too much. So, and like I say, these cards are like new look. Well, they are new because they were still wrapped, and I've not used them, so they are still in order. But it's a cool deck. It is a pip deck, which is why I was like, should I get it or not? But I loved it because it's Celtic, and we've got all this like lovely Celtic knotwork, and I liked the colouring and the font used. So probably the reason I've not used it at the moment is because of the pips, but I am planning to use it. And this cardstock is not too thin really. It's very bendy, flexible, but not horrible, and it just has a bit of a sheen to it. And this I happened to see on Candy's channel, Candy Soul and Soil, and I thought, oh, I do really like that. I wonder if there was any chance of me getting this deck. And like I say, I was fortunate that I got this quite cheaply. You know, the cards were still wrapped, but because the box was damaged, that's why I got it for £35. So let's have a look at some of the pips. Doesn't matter if I mix it up. So there's one of the quartz, and you see it's very, see, then this is the problem for me, but I do like all the like knotwork and everything in it. So eventually, when I get around to trying to use pips again, here's the Page of Wands. Hopefully I will get some use out of this, because I would like to use it. I don't want it to just sit there and not get used, because I do like it. So yeah, so this is another one from 1990. So very cool deck, which I'm actually going to leave out just now because I'm going to put it in a bag, so otherwise it's going to get damaged. But this is the Celtic Tarot, Helena Patterson, and illustrated by Courtney Davis. So that's from 1990. Okay, next, how many have we done? Right, this deck, and this is really battered. This is the Londa Tarot. This is from 94, I think. 93. This is from 93, this deck. This is the Londa Tarot. It is out of print now, and again goes for silly money on eBay, but sometimes you can find it cheap, like I did with this one. But I've had this a long time. Again, it's quite nice cardstock actually. It's got that sort of gloss to it, but not high gloss, and it's really silky to touch, really smooth and silky. And I love this. The backs are just quite plain, but I love that the guys look kind of alien-esque, and some of them remind me of metal bands like this. I used to love, well, I do still love some metal bands as well. I love this Lover's Card. I did think about one time selling this, but then I was like, no, I can't. So I could never like part with this one. Love this Hermit. He looks quite creepy, doesn't he? So yeah, this one's very cool. There's obviously lots of very skinny people, but as you can see, it's kind of a theme. They've all got these pointy type faces, and very kind of thin bodies, but they don't kind of look human, do they always? Like, look at this devil, is so cool. Love this devil. But it's not everybody's thing, but I do really like it. So yeah, I love this moon card. Of course, it's got large borders, but some of the hair and stuff does come outside into those borders. And I would never cut this deck or anything. So yeah, so that is my 1993 deck. Look at this Two of Wands. It's cool. So yeah, so that is the Londa Tarot from 1993, which I was, again, lucky enough to get on eBay, but it was a long time ago though. I've had this deck quite a few years, and like I say, I'll sort that out afterwards. I couldn't let it go now. Then I have, and again, this was another lucky find on eBay, but you know, you can find things if you look quite regularly. So this is the New Palladini Tarot, and this is from, I think this one is 94. No, 96. I've got it wrong every time so far. 1996, guys. So this is the 1996 New Palladini. And this one, again, I got it for £30, and the card, actually the whole deck was wrapped. This box was still in its shrink wrap, as were the cards. So again, brand new deck. It has these backs, which I love, really cool. So I was really fortunate to get a 1996 copy of this deck, because there are others, and I think the box is different on the newer versions. So, I mean, I wanted the New Palladini anyway, and I would have probably gone for one of the newer copies, but when I saw this and, you know, got it for £30, I thought it was worth it to have a 1996. And again, it's got that lovely, like, almost silky feel to the cardstock, with just a sheen to it, a bit like the Londa Tarot. So yeah, really pleased to have this one. So it's another Elder deck. Love this death card, look at that. I mean, I'm assuming none of the cards were changed, say, from this edition to any of the newer ones. I shouldn't think so. But yeah, I love the colours and the style of the artwork. I love this Strength card. How lovely is that? And the lion's got these lovely flowers round him. So, love this. For the Chariot with the like bird on there. Oh, I like this Lover's card as well. It's so nice. So, yeah, again, really pleased to have this. I do use it. It works really well. And sometimes, you know, I'll just sit with my decks sometimes and just just sit there and go through them and look at them and shuffle them and things like that. If I don't always necessarily do a reading with them, or I might use certain decks for path working and stuff sometimes. So it all depends. But yeah, that was another really fortunate find as well, because sometimes people don't know what they have, or they're not bothered, you know. And then the last deck I have, and this one is from, I think, 2002, and this is out of print as well, guys, sorry. Yeah, 2002 Llewellyn. This is Legend, the Arthurian Tarot, so different from the Arthurian Tarot in the larger box that's just been reissued as well. So this is like old Llewellyn cardstock as well, which is really nice. Again, it has a little bit of a gloss to it, but not massively. Love the backs, that purple with the labyrinth design. But I really like this deck. And you have like this is the Seven of Swords, so you have the swords here, just in a little box, so that the rest of the card, you know, the artist can kind of do whatever they wish, and then the seven swords are in the little box there, kind of pippish, but you've got all of this scenery going on as well. So I love anything to do with like Arthurian legend and anything like that, and Glastonbury and everything, as you know. I mean, look at the colours of that one, the colours on the tree and everything. This is Palomedes, the Knight of Swords, Sword of Strange Hangings for the Ace of Swords, really cool. Giant's Dance, look at that, for the Universe. It's like Stonehenge. So cool. Yeah, I love this deck, and this is another one. There's just no way I'd part with it. Lou. He's like the sun god, and it's the sun card. Morgan Le Fay. And she's the moon. We've got the Four, which is Percival. Merlin, of course, for the magician. Love the purple cloak, and look at the wall and the tree and everything. I love it. These cards are really good for path working as well. Nimue is the priestess. It's lovely. And Guinevere for the empress. Arthur, of course, is the emperor. Love it. And Taliesin for the Hierophant. So good, because obviously Taliesin was like a bard and storyteller, and we've got him here as the Hierophant, probably teaching children or telling them stories. Gareth and Lyonesse. So, Battle of Mount Badon. So yeah, this is a really great one. I love it. Look at this, Lancelot in Exile. And again, you can find it on eBay. It's just a question of Arthur's Dream, of continually like searching, or to put in a search for a particular deck. And sometimes they're silly money, but sometimes you can get them for a reasonable amount. I love this Hanged Man Castle Perilous. Look at Death. And of course he's Gwyn ap Nudd at the Wild Hunt, so although it looks like Gwyn ap Nudd, you actually say it Gwyn ap Nudd. And the Wild Hunt. Love that for the Death card, absolutely. Look at the Cauldron of Anun. So yeah, anyway, I'll stop in a minute showing you Cernunnos. But I do love it. Look at the dragons with Vortigern's Fortress. So yeah, this is a really lovely one. If ever you are able, if you love like Arthurian legend and stuff, and you're ever able to get hold of this deck, I would definitely recommend it. Because, like I say, unfortunately it's out of print, but sometimes you can be lucky. I mean, I think all of these that I've shown you, yes, every single one of these decks that I've shown you have been eBay finds at some stage or another. So it just proves that, you know, if you're patient and you either put out a search or you have a look on eBay regularly, you can find things, and sometimes for reasonable money if people are just trying to get rid of something. I mean, because sometimes people, even though it's kind of sad, they might pass away, and then someone is trying to let go of some of their things that might be decks, and you know, you might find something that way. I mean, I have before, even though it's kind of sad because the person has passed away, but you know, at least it's nice if their things can go to like a good home. And that is the Celtic Tarot on top of there. So that's all of my elder decks, because all the rest are kind of early 2000s or after. I know this one was a bit of a naughty because it was just into the 2000s, but it's still kind of vintage, isn't it? It's still an older deck. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing my elder decks, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.